Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
And Paloma Star, the Sriracha Muchacha.
Let's get right into this week's news and rumors, starting from the Queen. Charlotte Flair is taking a break.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
How does the show continue?
I don't want to say I'm glad, but I'm sure she's probably getting a little burnt out. She's been a workhorse this whole time. So, yeah. I mean, it sucks that she has to get surgery, but...
Yeah, so here's the news. So PW Insiders reported that Charlotte Flair is not injured or sick. So the fact that she got injured on the show was purely storyline device. While she is reportedly undergoing a surgery, it is elective procedure.
Something that's like more of a nagging thing, more than an injury.
She is expected to take 6 weeks off at least. So WWE's storyline update was that Charlotte Flair was having a collarbone injury, but that is just a storyline thing. Later update was that Charlotte Flair is taking this opportunity to have the extended break. She might be out until next year's Royal Rumble, and she's going to enjoy this personal time.
Well, good. You know, everybody needs a little bit of a break, even the queens do. But I hope that this is the good time for other people to step up, other people to be used, and other people that we don't maybe see too much on TV.
I really hope some of the hate online didn't get to Queen.
There was even a petition going around online for her not to get any more like title shots or opportunities or something. I'm like, that's kind of shitty.
Because a lot of the fans sometimes when they're expressing their displeasure, they don't necessarily delineate the fact that they're not talking directly about Charlotte, but they're talking about the booking of Charlotte. But sometimes with wrestling, it gets kind of muddy.
For sure, I could see that. And I could totally agree with some people if she wasn't good, but nobody can come here and say that Charlotte isn't good. She is freaking amazing. But like you said, I hope it really didn't get to her. I'm pretty sure it didn't. I mean, she's probably just taking advantage of just taking some time off, because she legit, her and Asuka have been the legit MVP workhorses throughout this whole thing.
You're right. I think it's kind of interesting situation just in women's division in general, because this is the first time that we have multiple top stars in women's division. Like before, we had like Trish Stratus, we had Michelle McCool. They were consistently in the storyline. When you're a top star, you were always in that championship storyline, and you just were there. I guess now it's different because there's so many, like there's more women and there are more top stars. So WWE, it almost seems like they don't know how to book them without putting them in the title storyline.
I feel like that's what they always default to. Like, they don't necessarily mean that they always have to be in a title storyline all the time when they're on TV, but I feel like that's what they're so used to. That's their easy go-to.
I don't know if Charlotte is down for it, but I really hope that Charlotte can be used in more of a non-title storyline to build other people that need that rub from her. Think about all the rub that Charlotte Flair got her entire career. She's got the managed by Ric Flair. She defeated Nikki Bella's reign, which was like 300 days plus. She defeated Asuka's streak. She defeated Trish Stratus. She won the Royal Rumble. She was the first returning like WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. She main evented WrestleMania. The list just goes on.
Yeah, we could be here another 30 minutes just legit listing out her resume for sure.
Yeah, she got all the rubs, so she better like start giving it out to other people.
Totally, I agree. And I think if it was up to her, I think she probably would. There's almost like too much talent. Like there's too much of a good thing going on, and I hope that they find a way to use more people more often, aka Bianca.
Let's talk about Liv Morgan and her journey through learning who she really is. Well, so it seems like that journey might have ended because it was well known that Liv Morgan was one of Paul Heyman's favorite women on the roster. When he was executive director of Raw, he really pushed Liv to be a single star. So that's why she had all that return vignettes. She was put into Lana's storyline to get that interest. She got the WrestleMania win. She was basically getting pushed to become one of the top stars of women's division, like shooting star. Now that Paul Heyman has left the job, some of these Paul Heyman projects are suffering from it. And what is said is that whatever it was with Liv, it is going to change. Because obviously in Heyman's reign, they wanted to build Liv as a big single star. And the Wrestling Observer Radio also said that they are putting Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan back together. That's going to be how they progress with Liv Morgan's character.
It kind of sucks because I really feel like Liv Morgan had a lot of momentum going, especially after she wrestled Charlotte. She has so much potential and she has really been stepping up in the ring. And I feel, I'm not saying her being in tag team will probably diminish that. It's just that she had such a good thing going that kind of wish they would have stuck with that a little bit more or a little bit longer and really see it throughout. Because maybe, put her back with Ruby Riott, but I feel like it's almost too fast or too soon.
Yeah, super disappointed because she was building a very interesting character. It was very confusing for sure, but it was going in a way that was very fresh. That's something that we've never seen before. So I was very excited, but it seems like they're dropping it. I really hope they don't. But that is the news right now. Let's move to another person that everyone's looking for, Bianca Belair. So we're all looking for her. Dave Meltzer talked about Bianca Belair on his Wrestling Observer message board. When WWE first called her up to Raw, they paired her up with Street Profit. But now that Street Profit is having all these matches, like what even is this, like basketball?
It involves turkey legs
and ninjas. So they're just doing like series of skits. Apparently they realized that she doesn't fit in these wacky skits, so they decided to just pull her from TV, looking for the next opportunity to put her on.
How about right now with versus legit anyone? She would be amazing.
Right.
Like, I get that they brought her in with the Street Profits, but also she was by herself, or kicking ass and taking names in NXT, so I don't think she necessarily needs them. Don't get me wrong, she was definitely a great asset to them, and they are to her, but I feel like she should have probably be introduced just as how she is and then go from there. But
yeah,
I really hope she's on TV soon, but I'm glad somebody said something about it because I really had no idea.
Is it almost a good news that WWE decided to keep her off TV because they have better plans for her?
I mean, I hope so. I guess time will tell.
That's the whole thing about WWE. We never know. But for me right now, looking at it, like, I'm sad that we can't see her on TV yet, but at least they are mindful of her character and mindful that she doesn't fit in this, like, wacky jokes.
I think I'm going to keep on telling myself that and try and make me feel better about it.
So WWE Backstage is canceled? Yeah.
Question mark?
They're pulling it from a weekly format. So there was a report from Business Sports Journal where WWE Backstage will no longer going to be a weekly show. This is what they said. FS1 is scaling back production on its boxing and WWE shoulder programming. WWE Backstage will no longer be produced weekly. It is eliminating inside PBC double-digit job losses as a result. It was funny that Bailey made fun of Renee Young. She was like, well, that's what you get for trying to steal my one day of off work day.
That's funny.
I love how Bailey became this troll. She's
me too.
acing it, yeah.
And she's doing great at it. She should keep on doing it.
Here's a name that we haven't heard in a while, Taylor Wilde.
Oh, she had some great matches in TNA.
Right? So I don't know if you remember Taylor Wilde. She's from TNA. She had that amazing debut against Awesome Kong. So Awesome Kong was having this like an invitational, right?
Yeah.
Taylor Wilde came out of the
crowd.
Yeah, she came out of the crowd and she challenged Awesome Kong. But anyway, she took Twitter to confirm that she is coming back to wrestling.
Yay! Did she say where?
Well, so really nothing's really open right now, so we don't really know. She has been gone from pro wrestling for 9 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that long. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, she was a Knockouts champion before in TNA. She was also the inaugural Knockouts tag team champion. And, Impact Wrestling is, I think there were some talks about, or rumors at least, about bringing back that Knockout tag team championship. It might be there she's going to.
And for a while there, TNA had an amazing stacked women's roster. I mean, when it was Roxy Laveau, Taylor Maid, ODB, Awesome Kong, the beautiful people, they were killing it. That was my favorite women's division to watch for a while. I mean, they still have a pretty good women's division now, but I hope it comes back to that level that it once was. I
mean, they've been making some great acquisition with talents like Kylie Rae, Deonna Purrazzo is doing really awesome, Jordan Grace is doing great as champion. I don't really know what the Tessa Blanchard situation is, but
Me either.
I'll look into that. Maybe she'll go to Impact, but we'll see how it goes. But she also announced that she has a new podcast called Wilde On. There you go. A lot of the wrestlers are jumping into YouTube game and podcast game. If you guys want collaboration, we're here. More disturbing things that happened this week, starting from Sasha Banks and Sammy Guevara. They were having just kind of a chit-chat about how Sasha Banks and Bayley's, their main event on NXT, overperformed rating-wise compared to Jericho's segment in AEW. And I guess they were, dragging each other about, how Sasha and Bayley's the best tag team in the world, and they were, some jokes going on. The podcast from 2016 resurfaced where Sammy made a joke about how he, and I just want to put out some content warning. It could be, honestly, it's kind of disturbing, where Sammy joked about how he wants to Sasha Banks because she's so attractive.
Bro, Sasha Banks, oh my god. When I was at the WWE the other week, I wanted to just go that woman.
You had a tryout?
I have no words. I honestly am. I mean, who jokes about that? Like, who jokes about
Seriously. He could have legit been his usual douchey self and said anything else besides that. And it would kind of been on brand on him. He could have said any other disparaging remark besides that, like, oh, insert broy douchey word here for that. And he really had to say that though. And I know everybody's like, oh, it was just a joke, but it is not a joke. Like, nobody should ever joke about that at all in any context whatsoever. Even if you think it's a joke, just because you think it's a joke doesn't mean that other people will take it as that. Yeah. I am glad that they were able to actually talk about it and actually have an open discussion and conversation about it. I am glad too that AEW took action and discipline for him. Who's to say that was enough or the right way to do it? But I really hope this shows other people that you shouldn't be joking about it. Like, what are you doing?
Sasha Banks handled the situation like a boss.
A pro. She's legit boss. If she wasn't a legit boss before, she was legit boss now, because that response was everything. It was straight to the point. It wasn't sugarcoating anything. It addressed the actual issue while still being a super professional and still having that emotion in it without being a dry PR read or anything like
absolutely.
That. It was nothing but class response from Sasha.
Yeah. So Sasha Banks says she spoke with Sammy about the issue and he apologized. They had an open discussion about it. Sasha Banks wanted to say that comments that he made has no place in society, and that comments like that could have a massive impact on another person's, even if the person saying thinks that it's just a joke and has no impact. Very powerful message. Massive props for her.
For sure. And I hope this opens up a dialogue for people and to realize what they say, what their words actually mean. And whether it's that saying that or being mean on people online that you don't even know, like, the words that people say you should be held responsible for what you say, for what you type, for what you tweet, for anything of it.
Yeah.
So.
And this week we've also seen very important move in pro wrestling history, and it is hashtag SpeakingOut, where a wave of sexual assaults and harassment allegation hit Twitter. A lot of the women's wrestlers spoke up about their experience with some of the promoters, some of the fellow wrestlers, some in indie scenes, some even in big promotions. What did you think, kind of seeing all the women speak up?
It was a lot in both the positive and the negative way. Like, it was positive because it was awesome to see so many people be so brave and have the courage to speak up and say something about it. And it was so negative because I cannot believe, even fathom, that there was this many people affected by it. And it's not just women. Like, I saw some guys and people, any gender, speak out about it and share their own experiences, but I couldn't keep up with it. Like, there were so many new allegations coming on every day, every hour, every minute, that it was really hard to keep up with it. And I'm glad that this is happening now, because you're right. This behavior has no room in wrestling or in life, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Because this type of behavior happens in every single industry, in every place of employment, in every aspect of life. This happens, and it just sucks that it's now happening for wrestling, because I feel like it might have taken too long, but I guess, hey, it's here, it's now, it's being heard, which I'm so glad about it too. It's being taken seriously, because I feel like sometimes other people might have tried to speak out before and might have not taken seriously before. I just really hope that this really involves a change, a true change for the wrestling world and for everybody in general, because I had a horrible time coming out in the wrestling business. Like, it was really hard. I got taken advantage of so much when I first started wrestling. I mean, I've been in wrestling way longer than I think I lead on. I started in the wrestling business when I was 18. I was a freshman year in college. I had no idea what was going on. And I most definitely got taken advantage of in so many ways, that I hope, because of all these stories coming out, if that prevents younger generation from having to go through what I did, then I feel like that it works that
Yeah.
it causes change. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have so many stories to the point that I forgot some. Like, that is how bad it was with wrestlers, with promoters, with people who I thought were my friends. I just remember very specifically reading one woman's story, and legit the same person, same exact thing happened to me. And I really didn't think I was even gonna, I guess I didn't realize how much that affected me, because when I was reading her tweets, I legit started crying. And I was just like, oh, I didn't realize I would react like this. But I'm so glad for all the people keep speaking out, being super brave, being super courageous, because it's hard. I mean,
You're right. Yeah.
like I said, I definitely have stories, and I don't know if I could or even want to say it, because most of the time, as bad as it is, at the end of the day, like, I feel, I mean, this is how I just feel personally, like, I end up looking bad too, not just like the people who do it. Like, I do really, really hope this comes out for a positive. And I hope, I'm glad people are getting called out. I'm glad people are saying names, because those people have no business in the wrestling business.
Yep. This is a dark day for a lot of fans. But the thing is, it has been happening in this industry for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it's like the male-dominated industry.
For sure.
A lot of the women are taken advantage of, and it's just heartbreaking to read. And there are just so many cases. It was outpour of just heinous acts from so many people that it was honestly shocking. And I think also, yes, there are names from big promotions involved. A lot are also from the indie promotions. But the thing is, like, indie wrestling is the roots of what we see on TV, like WWE, AEW. Who we see there is people that come from indie wrestling.
Exactly.
So we have to make sure that the culture is healthy from there.
For sure. I totally 100% agree, because that's where it stems from. Like, you see so many, probably like 75-80% of the people that you see on TV came from indie wrestling, whether it was they were there for years or were there for a little bit. And you're right, and then it just goes up from there, because if it's tolerated in any level, then it's gonna just spread out through the rest of the levels. And I just really hope this really comes with a change. Like, I hope, and it sucks. Like, it's like the thing that I love the most is the shittiest right now.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But I really hope at the end of this there is change. And it's just so crazy, because in the wrestling world, there's so many little rules and little things you're supposed to do. And like, you don't want to say anything because you don't want to lose your booking. You don't want to lose your spot. You don't want to piss off the boys. You don't want to come off as sensitive, especially being a woman. Like, it's already hard enough to be a woman in a male-dominated industry, no matter what industry that is. But it's already hard as it is. You almost don't want to step on any toes. So being a woman, you do put up with more stuff, and you kind of like brush it to a side, because you don't want to be the one who says something about it, because it's already hard. So
You're right.
You want to put more stuff on that. But I really hope that this changes, and I really hope all those predators are out of the business, and I just hope this comes out for a positive, because it's heavy, it's hard, it sucks.
I also think this is a wake-up call for a lot of the bigger companies too, making sure that there is a good HR department, good policies. We have to really make sure that this does not happen, and this should be an industry-wide action.
Oh, 100% agree. And I feel like this should start from wrestling school. Like, from day one at wrestling school, just as hard as you're learning how to take bumps, how to run the ropes, how to lock up, you should be learning how to be, which is crazy to think about, that people have to teach people to be respectful human beings. But I mean, that's just what you have to. I mean, even in regular corporate jobs, you have sensitive training classes and HR classes and stuff. So why not in the wrestling world too? But it's just crazy. I haven't even been on my wrestling Facebook in so long because of this, and it's hard to avoid it. And I want to be there and be supportive, and I am, and definitely feel for the victims. But oh man, it's a lot, and I feel for everybody that has to go through any of this, no matter what time. And oh man, the victim blaming that there is such bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't know. We can legit sit here all day and talk about it, but I just really want to hope for change, hope for a better cause for this. I mean, it sucks right now, but I really hope just we come out of this on the other side better as an industry and better as people.
And also, as a channel, we are sending love and support to all the brave people that came out during this whole movement. Your bravery is really changing this industry to become better.
I'm glad there's so many more women involved in the wrestling industry. And just today I saw that Thunder Rosa and Robin Reed are opening up an all-women company in Texas called Mission Pro Wrestling. So just things like that, like, even if you don't think that you're changing, sharing a story, being there for somebody, saying something when you see somebody being shitty, like those are the changes, the small changes that build up for a greater good and for a better wrestling.
Yeah, that was a big topic. Yeah.
Totally. But, everybody just sigh and deep breathe and be better people, everybody.
Yes.
Jeez.
That is the important thing. Empathize. Try to understand other people's point of view. Don't be a freaking bigot that are like, oh, it's just a joke. It was just blah, blah. No. We need to empathize with each other, and that's what makes us human. So let's just
100%.
make sure that we understand that. Yeah. All right, Paloma, where can we find you?
You can find me at Paloma Star on Instagram and Twitter. And I will say this, I'll end with a lighter note. Here, eventually, whenever wrestling picks back up, maybe next year, just gonna put this out there, I will eventually host a fan contest where I will invite people to design me wrestling gear, and whoever wins, I will legit get it made. So just something to look forward to. So something a little bit light, something to look forward to. And like I said, I don't know when I'm going to do it, so don't start sending your designs now. But eventually we'll do that, and I think that'll be something super fun and cool to do.
How did you know that I always wanted to be Heidi Klum, the Project Runaway?
That's a real Project Runaway with Tim Gunn. Where can we find you at, DS? I like saying that, by the way, because I feel like I never say it, so now I want to say it. Where can we find you at, DS?
Well, you can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. All right, bye.